All right, guys, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of Real Deal Meetup on Periscope TV. Hello, SW2 Properties and Andrew777. Andrew, I haven't seen you for a while, okay? I see. Oh, Jeff. Thanks so much, Jeff, for joining. All right, guys, so this is Real Deal Meetup on Periscope TV. It's your girl, Queen, and we are here for another amazing episode today. V. Stern, I see you. I'm doing fantastic. I'm actually in Baltimore today, so I'm not in some crazy location, but I have a special surprise for you guys. I want to say in about 2 weeks, I'm going to be in a different location, so just stay tuned. All right, Kingston Coils, hi. And I see Teresa just joined on the line, my fabulous partner, Teresa. And thank you, everyone else, for joining on. If you're on right now and you have your Periscope linked to your Twitter, please make sure that you share today's broadcast. We got some great information, and PPS LLC just joined as well. I think this is my first time seeing you on a broadcast, but thank you for joining. All right, so on today's episode, we are actually going to be talking about how to build a winning edge with wholesaling deals. So now for all of our individuals who are wholesaling on a full-time basis, or you're looking to wholesale on a full-time basis, this is going to be a great episode because Kevin is going to really break down how exactly he's doing this full-time, from leaving his full-time job to now doing wholesaling full-time. And thank you so much, Andrew, for the compliment. I saw you. All right, guys, and keep the hearts flowing. And I think we're at 71,000 hearts. That's crazy, right? It's insane. So on behalf of Charles Blair, the mad scientist himself, and the Real Deal community, we want to thank you again. For those of you who were at for everyone who was at our last meetup, Brad Chandler did the thing with the champagne and the beer budget. It was crazy. So for those of you who did not, well, actually, if you weren't at the Real Deal meetup last weekend, Brad, he has his own meetup as well, so you can just go on to meetup.com and see that. Thank you so much for the comment. You can go on to Brad's meetup to get some of the information that he did, but I mean, man, it was crazy. And hello from Argentina. You must have known I was looking for you. I always look to see who are international people, but without further ado, I have Kevin Davis here. Kevin Davis, he left his full-time job to now do real estate full-time. So I am truly inspired by that, because anyone who can take that major leap, you see the fist? All power, all power to you. It's like, it takes a lot mentally in order to do that. So I don't think for some of the people who are on the line who are kind of like teeter-tottering to take that full transition, it's a lot. So I really applaud Kevin. You know, he's a mentor, he's a landlord, he's wholesaling full-time, closing deals, raising private capital. So like, he's just an all-around awesome dude. So without further ado, we're going to be speaking to Kevin about some of the most recent deals that he's done and how you can really like build your wholesale business. So all of my people who are on the line, also for the individuals who are either rehabbing, buying notes, landlords, hard money lenders, whatever you are, or you're just looking to get started. This is still great because all in all, it's all about the systems that you have in order to get you started. So I believe that's the most important thing, but that's what I believe. It all depends on what you believe. But we're going to go on to Kevin now. Hold on one second. Let's turn it around. Hey, Kevin. How are you?
Queen, how you doing? Periscope. Everybody out there, how's it going?
All right. And we got more and more people who are joining in. So, guys, the ground rules are the same. We cannot see you in person, so rounds of applause. You gotta double tap the screen in order to give us hearts.
Yeah, give us some hearts.
Jeff already said, Kev, my man, good dude. You already got the hearts flowing in. It's like, dang, I see all these different colors. I love it. All right, so cool. Now, just to get started, so that for the individuals who are not a part of the Real Deal meetup or any of the meetups in the DMV area, you know, tell us about yourself and how you actually got started in real estate.
Well, you know, as Queen said, Kevin Davis, wholesale in Baltimore, and I guess you have a lot of time if you want to hear how I got started. I've been in real estate for about 10 to 12 years now.
Okay.
Full-time for about the last 2 years.
Okay.
So I actually started with another investor, or actually prior to that, I started working at a title company out of college. I'd always known since I was about 15, 16, I wanted to be in real estate, a great path to wealth. So, I went to school, finance degree, blah, blah, blah. It came out, I started working at a title company.
Okay.
And for the life of me, couldn't understand what people were doing at all. And I worked at a title company. It was kind of crazy. I literally had wholesale deals in front of my face, and I did not know what I was looking at.
Right.
So fast forward, after leaving there, I went and worked for an investor who had a full-time one-stop shop wholesale business. So people who don't know what that is, he wholesaled, took those deals and actually put together the financing, put together the construction, put together the resale or renting of those properties, packaged as one full encompassing deal for investors.
Wow.
And we did volume quite a bit.
Wow.
So worked there for about maybe 3 or 4 years. Started out just inspecting property, moved on to making offers on property, to selling property, to finding buyers, assistant mentorship with some investors, and then did my first deal.
Okay.
Great,
When did you do your first deal?
Towards the end, when the bottom dropped out of the market.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so before or after the crash?
Right before. Literally before the crash.
Okay, so you made it.
Yeah.
You made it. Okay, cool.
I made it in between.
Okay.
In hindsight, I should have kind of stuck in there. The market dropped out. I had a baby on the way with my now wife.
Okay.
So went on and we thought we'd do construction, and that didn't work out well because, partnerships didn't work out.
Right.
Obviously, people who know in the business, when market drops, construction definitely drops.
Yeah.
And, it just wasn't good.
Okay, cool. So now I just have a quick question because you were involved, and it's for those of you who are on the line who don't necessarily have an idea of the difference between, just like dibble-dabbling and being committed. You were involved in real estate for 10 to 12 years, but then you became committed in the last 2 years.
Correct.
So what made you go towards that commitment? Because that's really like a big jump to say, I'm committed to do this now. This is my bread and butter.
2 things.
Okay.
I had a really good conversation with Mr. Kenneth Gills, who's no longer with us. Great guy, as well as Charles, probably the same day, and my wife.
Okay.
And I love my wife. She told me, straight conversation, look, you've been around it. You seem to know a lot of things. I'd study all types of courses, all different types of things. I could talk to you about notes, commercial property, all that different types. She's told me, look, if you're going to do it, just do it. Stop talking about it and do it. So, and that's something I carry with me every day. Take action. You can learn everything in the world about real estate, but if you do not take action and take massive action, you'll get nowhere. It just, I said one day, you know what? I'm just committing myself to do it. Get a couple, I call it safety net situations. That didn't necessarily work out the way I thought it did.
Okay. It's always like that. It's always like that. That is so funny.
Yeah, safety net did not work out.
Okay, cool. I had one of those too. I fell right through it. So, all right. Now, in terms of actually building your business, so you went from dibble dabbling, and if we have any dibble dabblers, I was a dibble dabbler for about a year or so. So you could double tap the screen. I know there are some here. It's okay. We can't see you. It's Periscope. Yes, I saw the hearts coming in. And the Shelton Hills just joined. Thank you so much. All right, so now when you built your wholesale business, how did you get started in terms of consistently closing deals?
So I took I don't know if it's a different approach than most people, but I had some skills. Obviously, I'd worked in a wholesale business. I understood the process. I understood how to evaluate property. So I had some skills. So I had to kind of take a step back and say, you know what? I have some value that I can add.
Right.
What do I need to do to get out there? And based upon, again, the conversation with the Gills, my only issue was really leads. So I said, okay, well, I have no money. I just quit my job.
You could double tap the screen and you wouldn't have any money when you first got started. Okay.
So what can I do? What can I do? So my thing was, you know what? If I can add value to and this is how I still operate. I add value to every relationship that I come across, which has driven me, this far. If I can add value to someone who needed the type of service that I could provide, I can kind of buoy myself onto the next step. And
I like that.
so what I did was I identified a couple individuals that I, had networked with in the, past month prior to me leaving my job.
Okay.
And they had additional leads. They had, system issues where they didn't know how to build out their own systems.
Okay.
They had a lot of different issues in their business that I already understood how to fix.
Right.
So, in building that relationship, I was able to provide them some value. They were able to provide me some value in terms of providing me leads that I didn't have. So, I started out with about 3 individuals, a real estate agent who I still network with. We didn't necessarily get done what we anticipated eventually, but it's a great relationship that I still nurture and will, at some point do some business. I had another, wholesaler that I did a couple, quite a few deals with actually.
Right.
Helped building out a system, managing the leads that were there, closing deals, getting contracts, building buyers lists. So we kind of had that good relationship where it benefited both of us.
Gotcha.
As well as a third that we have developed, and I continue to develop that relationship now, which he's even lent me money on deals that I've done.
Okay.
So that relationship, continued to foster. So my thing is, I started out and I provided value. Always lead with value. In every single situation I get in with real estate, I always lead with value because I know it's going to come back to me.
That's so true. And it looks as though like you started, because I know even when I started off thinking about this is what a lot of people do. And I know there's some people on the line, and you know what I'm going to tell you to do is double tap the screen. But we usually start off thinking about what we don't have and then go out and try to get that instead of leading with what we do have. So like for all of my people who are on the line, and thank you so much for the hearts, I see it flowing in because it's true. So the most beneficial thing that I've done, and what it seems as though you most definitely have done, is start off with, what resources do I have? What do I know? And how can I get what I need with using that first to add that value? So I think that's ingenious. And anybody who's on the line if you're working full time and you know how to cut grass, cut the grass, cut the grass for a rehabber. Yeah. Figure out how you can add value to them and then get what you need. It's just that simple. Okay, cool. So now, in terms of marketing for your wholesale business, how have you done that, and what has been the most beneficial style of marketing for you to get in leads?
Over the course of the last 2 years that I've been, full time, quite honestly, my JV deals have been the most deals I've done. And those are free leads for me. Okay. So I do, a lot of JV deals. I do probates. I do cold call probates as well as direct mail. Okay. A lot of people, they'll say what type of deal it is, but they necessarily don't look at the strategy of getting that deal. Yeah. And I'm a process type person. I love, figuring out what process works best. So I do cold call and JV. I do a lot of social media posts, my website. I run AdWords campaigns, which I'm, pushing to get a little bit better. That's a struggle, I will say. Okay. But I also seek the best advice from individuals. By building out my network the way I have, I've been able to network with some really high level individuals, which is, some of the deals that I've done have been people that are not in my market. Right. I've gotten short sale specialists who sent me deals. I've gotten individuals that buy notes send me deals that they had to take the deed on. Wow. I've had individuals that are rehabbers that have took on too many projects or whatever the situation was. They just wanted me to sell their deal. All those are free leads for me. Right. So that has been my best source, is free leads. And I'm just kind of ramping up some other sources, which are bandit signs, the Google AdWords. I'm building out my SEO as much as possible, my website. Gotcha. But quite honestly, that networking and JV deals, because I do network so much and have a network that expands just not just wholesaling or not just realtors or buyers, but encompasses a lot of the different parts of real estate. I've been able to put together situations that have benefited me long term versus just one-off. I'm more, and I always kind of lead this with anyone that I meet in a relationship in the business, is that I'm looking for long-term business relationships versus short-term. Certainly I'll do a deal or so here with people, but quite honestly, I'm looking for that, hey, can we grow as a business relationship together?
And I think that makes your company a bit different, because I can definitely say, and thanks again for the hearts, guys, for your company, what I've noticed is that you're building a company. You don't necessarily focus on just wholesaling.
No.
Your primary strategy is wholesaling,
correct,
but overall you're building a business and a brand. And for those individuals who are on the Periscope, someone actually just asked for your website. What is that?
That is kevinbuysbaltimorehouses.com.
Okay.
That's my primary website. We're still looking to get our company website as well as some other things, but primarily just the seller's website is one of the best ways to contact me.
Okay, gotcha. kevinbuysbaltimorehouses.com. You're welcome. Okay, cool. So now, in reference to your team members who you have now, because you started off with your 3 before, everybody has their starter team. Some people on the starting line, they make it, and then when it comes time to renew contracts, they don't.
It happens that way.
It happens. So now, in terms of the team that you have right now that has been helping you out with these deals, like, who are those team members that have been really vital to you?
So I've had my virtual assistant for about a year now.
Okay.
He's been very vital. He started out with just kind of following up calls at a point, but I think we moved him over to kind of data mining and some administrative stuff for particular reasons. We just recently brought on a lead manager.
Okay.
Stay-at-home mom. She's able to sit at home and work virtually. That's one benefit that I personally saw from my job, the last job that I had, that was working from home. And I think quite frankly, with technology today, it doesn't make sense for anyone who needs to go out or doesn't need to go out of their home to work to do so. So it's a great opportunity for her to make some extra income while her son is young, so that works out well.
Okay.
And then my wife part-time does my transaction coordinating.
Okay.
So those are the kind of what we have in place now. And I'm kind of always trying to think 2 steps ahead. As you said, I build a business versus building a fly-by-night situation.
Right.
We're looking 2 steps ahead already, so I already have the roles and responsibilities in place.
Okay.
Once I fill those roles, we'll have a marketing individual, as well as accounting and some other things that we're looking to add on eventually.
Okay, cool. I love it. So VA, lead manager, transaction coordinator, and you're also creating the roles for the individuals that you'll be adding on in the future. I like the way you think. Okay, cool. So now, one other thing that has been really cool that I was like, I wonder if I can start doing this too, is with the virtual wholesaling that you've been doing. Yes. I think that's pretty dope. So we're going to talk about that. So now, can you tell us a little bit more about how you got started with the virtual wholesaling?
Well, honestly, it kind of was an experiment a little bit.
Okay.
I had a family friend, or family friend of a friend, that her mother needed to sell a house, and she lived in North Carolina. So, bad situation, wasn't living in a house any longer, needed a little bit of work, all the signs of, a good wholesale deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off, like I always do, really looking to see, okay, what value can I add? And it was more of a friend situation, so if I can make something of the deal, great. If not, I wasn't really going to be, upset.
Okay. It
was more of an experiment to me. So we started off, I vetted her to say, okay, what's the situation? We provided some information to me. I sent her a lockbox, never saw the property, kind of put out some marketing. We were able to get a buyer for her. And that was kind of my start. I said, okay, well, that's a good start virtually. And then honestly, things kind of come to me, and I'm always of the opinion that, you kind of plant the seed in your own mind and let it fester itself.
It's so true.
So eventually I started getting, as my network grew, because I continued to, network with other individuals, that other wholesalers in my own market, as well as, outside of my market, would come to me and say, hey, do you have buyers for this property?
Right.
So I say, okay, well, yes, I probably do, given that I know my market.
Right.
I know my market, so I'm like, okay, well, tell me a little bit about the deal. We, go over the information. I say, okay, this does sound like a pretty good deal. So we work out the logistics of it, and essentially, most times at JV, it's usually sort of between a 40 or 50% split, of the deal, 50-50, 60-40, or whatever that percentage is.
Right.
And some of the things that I kind of encountered is, oh, well, you don't have a whole lot of money in the deal. We want to do this, we want to do that. So instead of just kind of throwing that away, what we would do is simply work out that particular arrangement.
Gotcha.
So if I didn't have to go to the house, then I'd be okay with doing some administrative things such as just marketing or what have you, or setting up things. So it kind of started off as an experiment and ended up with a situation where I did not have to leave my house, didn't have to go into any properties, show any properties.
Right.
And so that concept is something that I can take and go into different markets for as well. So I've been able to virtually wholesale in my own market, which sounds kind of crazy, but I've done about 8 to 9 deals where I've never seen the property. And that's a virtual wholesale deal.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
So, like, you never seen the property, never touched.
I saw pictures.
That is so. But
pictures.
it's so funny because when we had our interview with Ahmed Hazel, and he does notes. Ahmed is really, really great guy.
Yep, I'll be working with Ahmed on notes.
When we were doing our interview, he stated that a big thing that holds people up is the fact that they want to see something, they want to touch it, they want to feel it, they want to feel as though they have ownership. You like, I don't care, it's a deal. Yeah. Okay, so you're just pretty much doing transactions. That's the difference. You're not getting attached.
Right.
Interesting.
Which feeds right into my business model that I want to do volume. I'm running a business, and I'm not running I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm setting up a business.
No, fly by night.
Yeah.
fly by night. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I see the hearts coming in. Fly by night. I think that's the perfect word. If somebody else has another word to explain that, sometimes people call it a duct tape business. I think fly by night fits, or on the fly, whatever. But that's how it is sometimes. So now from what you stated for the home in North Carolina. So you spoke with the owner of the property. Right. Then after speaking with her, you got the details, see what she really needs. And then from there, you sent her the lockbox in order for her to put that on the property. Then you started marketing the actual deal. And then after that, you just went to closing.
Yep.
That's it.
So,
wow.
I mean, there's a lot of different marketing techniques. A lot of wholesalers are scared to call realtors. I don't know why. Realtors have buyers. Why are you not contacting realtors?
They do.
This is what they do professionally.
Exactly.
So I contacted one of the better realtors in the area and said, look, this is what I have. I saw a couple of realtors that have sold properties in the area. This is what I have. They brought their buyers in, and eventually we were able to find a buyer.
Man, so true. And someone said I call it risky business. Yeah, I do call that risky business too, because you never know when you're going to get a paycheck. But and also CV Realty LLC, they said, where do you find your deals? I don't think he was here in the beginning when we were talking about that. So
my lead sources are JV deals, cold calling. I do a lot of probate cold calls. Let's see, honestly, Section 8. I will text Section 8 list. That's a free list for you. Go to gosection8.com. Take every single one of those people that are renting out and text them or call them and ask them, do they have a property to sell? That's a free lead source.
It is.
In my mentorship, I focus on both paid and free leads because I started off with not having any money, so I had to find them, even though I had some of the skills already necessary to know what a deal is. Just because you have the knowledge, if you're not able to utilize that knowledge, then you don't have anything.
Exactly. So true.
That's I always look for free lead sources as well as paid lead sources.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So now another thing that you mentioned is in reference to the JV deals that you do. So like, how do you joint venture with another wholesaler successfully, especially for someone that you have never even met? That's an important one.
As I said, in any transaction or a new person that I'm meeting, I'm trying to build a relationship.
Okay.
So either I'm vetting them through other individuals that I have a network, in their market with, and saying, hey, have you done a deal with this person? Are they somebody that you would recommend doing a deal with? And I also have, contracts that I utilize.
Okay.
So if I'm doing that JV deal, I'm not going to present my buyer to them, although some people that I do regular JV deals with, I'll just send my buyer to the property and we'll get the deal worked out.
Right.
And I've had no issue with that because I do have that relationship.
Right.
Which is very important.
Okay.
Others, I'll send the paperwork. Hey, this is the paperwork. I handle the title company in because, obviously I have the buyer, they have the seller.
Right.
So we send everything through the title company. We get the contract. Once we have a contract signed, I'll advise them that, hey, I have the contract. Here's my, forms if I haven't already signed those forms with them.
Okay.
And then we send everything to the title company to handle it.
Okay.
So it's legal documentation. The title company handles all the disbursement of funds, and I don't have to worry about somebody trying to, cut me out. I've had people where they'll, hey, I have a buyer. I let them know, hey, this is what the deal is. Oh, well, I want to talk to them and trying to figure out if they're serious or this or that. And I say, well, I'm professional. I can handle the buyer. What are you trying to do? And pulling me away, it's. And again, it only takes one time for me to, kill a relationship, because if it doesn't work, I'm looking for a long-term business relationship. So if it doesn't work out, I don't have a problem with saying, okay, well, I wish you the best of luck in your business, but we're not going to do any more business together, because I'm looking for individuals I can trust with integrity and that I can do long-term business with, whether it be, this business or the next, because I'm always looking for that next step in my business, whether it be in real estate or outside of real estate. I'm looking for those relationships that I can build upon.
So true. So you key things, and I think everyone should keep this in mind when you're attempting to build relationships with people, is in reference to trust and integrity, because it's just little things that you can look for in people. Like, I know if I leave my pen on the table and I come back and my pen's not there, it's very little. It's something that people will consider little. Yeah, Tony's on the line laughing.
It's an indicator.
But it's an indicator.
Yeah.
You're a pen thief, so you might be a money thief too. So that's something little, but it's very critical. And First Lady Davis said yes. So true. So
Yes.
in reference to building those relationships, now you also mentioned that you're doing like little, not little things, actually big things in terms of having those contracts. So now what contracts are you giving your JV wholesale partners to like just start off the relationship?
I have a remarketing agreement.
Okay.
So, obviously there's assignments and then there's other agreements. I have a standard JV remarketing agreement, which states specifically what individuals are receiving out of the deal. So
Gotcha.
it may be a percentage, it may be a flat fee, whatever that is, it's outlined in writing. If it's not in writing, typically it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Obviously, I say I'm in business first, and I'm in real estate is the realm of business that I'm doing. So
that's a good one.
unless if you don't understand that you're in business first, then you probably need to go talk to somebody, because it's a business.
So true.
Run it like a business, treat it like a business, understand the principles of the business, of the market, type of niche business that you're in, and explore that.
That's so true. I like that. Actually, I'm going to write that down while we go into the next question. So now the last deal that you just completed, I thought this was a very, very cool deal. So can we go into the details of that one? First of all, how did you even find this deal? Because it kind of like fell upon you. So
Periscope.
That.
I network highly. I follow, and there's this old saying, closed mouth doesn't get fed. I speak up. I talk to people. I talk to a lot of people, whether it be on Periscope, Instagram, Facebook, wherever I can, social network, and I talk to people. I've been able to network with people and do deals. I've been able to network with people and get information on my business systems. People that work with me a lot know that I'm kind of a systems junkie. I'm a businessman, so I have to build those systems out. And if I have struggle, either I'm hiring somebody to do what I can't do,
right,
or I'm learning it myself if I have time,
right,
which I usually try and learn to some degree what I need to know so I can manage the individuals that I need to hire, or I'm networking with individuals who already know what I want to do,
right,
so that I can learn it from them as they're doing it, other investors that are using the same tools that I want to use, and working with that. But back to the deal, sorry.
Okay. So we got this off of Periscope.
Yeah, Periscope. I networked with an investor, and he actually had a coaching student who had a deal in my market, which is another reason why I build out my network. Other investors are in your market if you don't realize it. A lot of investors that do coaching, their students are, a lot of times, they're in your market.
And that's really cool. So now, this investor, where was he located?
He's in North Carolina.
And where's his student located?
In Maryland? I don't know.
Oh, okay. So
never talked to him.
Virtual? There we go. Okay, so he was an important factor in this.
Yes.
The mentor. Okay, cool. So now you got the deal for Periscope. You do your own Periscope feeds and you do your property walkthroughs.
Which I'll be doing more. I know I haven't been on Periscope in a while because I've been building out systems.
Okay, so then after you guys connected offline, and so how did he approach you? Like, how did you even know that he was like the real deal in terms of
provided value?
Doing this?
I followed him. We've talked on Periscope, we've talked in emails, and just kind of built that relationship. He said, hey, you know what? This is what I'm looking at. This is something. Can you pull comps for me? Okay. I said, okay, sure. I have a relationship with a broker, so I can pull MLS comps.
Okay.
Provided that to him. I've done that on probably about 4 different deals.
Okay.
They didn't necessarily work out. Some of them, this one did.
Okay.
Where the numbers worked. We were able to. He was able to lock it up. He said, hey, okay, let's start the marketing process.
Okay.
I said, okay. We sent it out to our buyers list. We were able to find about a couple buyers who were interested, and finally one that pulled the trigger.
Okay.
From there, it was just a paperwork process. I've yet to go to the house still. I said I was going to go to it because it's not that far, but it just never happened, and I really don't have any inclination to get to the property. I've seen the pictures, but...
Oh my gosh, these pictures again. But no, that's really key, because you're not getting like too attached. You're focusing on the most important thing, which is the numbers.
The numbers, yes.
Okay, cool. Now, V. Stern actually just asked, do you use Podio?
I use Podio immensely.
Okay,
immensely. For everything.
Awesome.
I'm a systems junkie. I try and tie any system that I can back to Podio as my... if you don't know what Podio is, most investors that I know are either using some sort of a contact resource management system.
And now, what does that even mean? Because people ask me that all the time.
It is an operations system. So, obviously, if you're in business, which you should be in, you need some sort of a system to manage everything that you're doing, whether it's your seller leads, buyer leads, contacts, the next step that you need to take within a deal. You need somewhere to house all of that, because once you get, some sort of traction, you definitely will lose your mind if you don't have a system in place.
Yeah.
I lost my mind for a little bit. but no, seriously. Seriously. I mean, it helps me so much because I don't have time to write things or look for a spreadsheet or look for this or look for that. I have my cell phone. I can access my data from my cell phone.
Gotcha.
I can email out from it. I can get text messages from it. I can do a lot of different things from that system that allows me to run my business and delegate things to other people and run my business, which is the most important thing.
So V. Stern, for Podio, he is using it for his business system. That's pretty much how he's managing. And, of course, as most people know on the line, Podio has a different app, so you could follow up. What is it, Kevin? Like your seller leads? What else can you do in there?
My
buyers.
system is very... I'm actually building out an accounting system.
Oh,
so
Lord. Okay.
I try and I network with other individuals where I try to do my marketing, my direct mail directly from Podio.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Voicemail broadcast from Podio. Text message follow-up from Podio.
Okay.
sending out offers, receiving offers.
It's just
I mean,
a lot. Yeah, it's so much. But Podio is really what you make it. So I would advise anyone who's on the line who is not familiar with the system yet, definitely Charles. He actually has a great YouTube video on it. It's like 4 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah.
Why do I know the exact time? I do not know. But if you go on YouTube and just search Charles Blair Podio, it'll pop up. He has an hour training and he has the 4 minute and 34 second training on how to do Podio, and that'll give you a better idea of what it is. But Kevin is absolutely right in terms of that. So now moving along, this is a big question for us because our company just started heavy with the wholesaling. We were rehabbing before. So now the slow season is coming up. People aren't rehabbing as much. Everybody wants to act all stink on buying. Oh, did I say stink? No, that's not stink. In everyone's professional opinion, it's just not the season to buy as much deals. So now how do you survive during hibernation? How do you get the kernels?
Well, I don't only sell rehab deals. I sell a lot of rentals as well. So I do rentals. I have a mentoring. I've kind of toyed around with doing mentoring now. I'm actually building out that platform to do mentoring.
Cool.
Because virtually I can go into other markets if I'm not doing deals in Baltimore because people aren't buying because it's cold. I'll go down to maybe Atlanta, send out some direct mail. I have contacts in Atlanta.
Okay.
I have contacts in Texas, contacts in different areas where, I understand that if they're a professional that can do what I need them to do, it's just about lead generation.
So true.
I had if you're in business, what you do is provide leads and you follow through those leads, the process in order to get those done. So whether you're generating leads for real estate or generating leads for a plumber, you can monetize those.
It's true.
It's serious. You're a lead generation is what you do, and you don't have to be that person that actually goes through the entire process.
Right.
So I'm looking at a couple different models. We have this book here, .com Secrets. I'm looking at it for a lot of different types of businesses that I can supplement, but I also do Podio. Consultations for people.
Wow. Cool.
I am a systems person. I like systems. I like helping people build out systems. I like, doing some consultations for individuals for their particular systems. And, I've done that for a number of investors in my own market.
Okay, cool.
So I look at different ways to generate that income, but, I also buy, I'm going to close on 2 rentals where I'll get some income from those. So just a little bit of different stuff here and there as I build a business. The hustle is great, but I'm building the business.
Right.
So, I definitely hustle, but the business is what I'm focused on.
I love it. Okay, so great. So you're pretty much you're not praying that it doesn't rain because we know it
will.
Does. It's going to rain.
It'll rain.
It's going to rain, guys. It's going to rain, and the rain typically comes around November, December, January, February, until the birds come back from the south. So in anticipation, you're pretty much preparing yourself. So I think that's a great strategy. That's actually something that I did not think about. Go where people are rehabbing all the time. Duh. So, wow. I didn't think about that because somebody would buy a house in Miami all day long. All year long. And then you got to think about it. Another cool thing that I just thought of. If you're in a hot area, like during the holiday seasons when people buy cars and houses and all that stuff for people, people will buy houses in Miami. Somebody may buy their mom, I don't know, just a house as a gift or something like that. That's so obvious but so smart. Okay. Yeah. V. Stern said, who sets up your Podio accounts?
I did. Okay. I set up all my Podio. I will say it took quite a while to get it the way I want it, and I still tweak it often.
Okay.
But it's not perfect, and I don't expect it to be ever.
Right.
Because I, for a long time, focused on things being perfect for me to be able to do things, and that never happens.
Done is better than perfect.
Nothing ever happens.
Okay, cool. So, yes, Kevin is setting up the Podio system himself. So, if you have any questions, contact him. Also, for the Real Deal members, we have a basic setup package for you all, and that's $99. It has most of the applications that you would use, but you need some assistance after that. So you still need to consult with someone because you will still be lost, but it just has all the applications that you need. So, okay, cool. Now, for individuals who are on the line who are starting with building their business, what would you recommend? Like, what is step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to get you up and started with a wholesale business?
I would say step 1 is figure out, well, with that, it depends. If you're still working, great. I don't recommend anybody do it the way I did it. Okay. It was, within my first year, I went through 2 cars, and that wasn't because of choice, So my wife was also not working, so I had to hustle a lot.
Right.
But setting up, I would recommend, getting some help. A local mentor or someone like myself. I do mentoring, although I'll be scaling that a little bit more. Understanding that your learning curve can be just dramatically, cut in half by working with someone who knows what they're doing.
Yes.
So I would suggest, number 1, getting someone who knows what they're doing to be able to teach you.
Okay.
Number 2, understand what your resources are.
Okay.
Like I said, if you have some type of skills that you can add, what value can you bring to any individual you're going to come in contact with in your business?
Right.
I do a lot of probate deals. When I go into a probate situation, I'm talking to estate reps. Oftentimes, I'll get the deal even if someone offers more than me because of my presentation, because of my the way I present things, the way I break things down, the way they understand things, so that they're completely comfortable with the process because I've provided them with more than they actually asked for. So I'm providing that value before.
Gotcha.
So in your business, when you're starting out, understand what you have to bring to the table as value. And then from there, you can understand, okay, what is my business going to look like in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years? What do I want it to look like?
That's true.
Because if you're setting up processes that you hate and you don't want to continue, at some point you're not going to want to do it.
So true.
If you don't like going out and looking at houses, find somebody who does.
Exactly.
And generate all the leads. If you love looking at houses but you don't like generating leads, find somebody who's generating more leads than they can handle or that are doing deals virtually in your business and plug in with them. Understand what you like to do and then put people around you who may like to do the other things that you don't like to do, which will leverage both your time as well as theirs and benefit you both. I always add, I look to lead with value and supplement, my deficiencies.
Right.
My wife will, tell you what those are. I won't list those.
She is not. Oh man, but supplement my deficiencies. That's really good, and that's totally a contradiction to most of our mindsets in terms of we have to do everything. Yeah. And First Lady Davis said LMBO. I wonder who that is.
Hey, baby.
Okay, cool. So now what would be, so we have step number 1, seek mentors. Number 2, understand your resources. So what would you say step number 3 is?
Step number 3 is take action. Whatever you do, you're going to make mistakes. Things are going to go wrong. I expect every deal to have problems. I mean, I'm literally not even joking. I have about 5 deals right now that I have title issues. I have deals that the executor has passed away of the person that, literally they're handling somebody else's estate. They passed away. And now I'm dealing with their estate rep. So every single deal is, a present to me because it's an opportunity for me to kind of put on my thinking hat and try and figure out what's going to happen. So understand going into it, it's not easy, but it's worth it. And that you will have things that you need to overcome. Because if you go into it and thinking, oh man, everybody's I'm going to make 10, 20, 50, whatever $1,000 and blah, blah, it's going to be so smooth and easy, you're going to get a wake-up call very quickly.
Right. So
and,
true.
But it's worth it. Anything that's worth it, you want to pursue. And if it's something that you have a passion for, if something that you're on the fence about doing, get off the fence and take some action.
Get off the fence.
Send a letter. Make a call. Do whatever it is. That's going to get you at least started. I'm not the person that says it. I forget what the term is, but something in motion stays in motion.
Right.
I've gotten that from another person that I follow, quite frankly. But if you never take action, you'll never take you'll never take action.
You never take action, and you'll never get there.
You'll
like
never
you
get
have
there.
to get in the car.
Make mistakes. Make mistakes. Fail forward.
But how do you feel about that and I see a couple of people just joined on the line. Hello, John. Hello, My World's 85. We are awesome, spectacular, phenomenal, and all the good adjectives that we can find in the dictionary today. For those of you who just joined in, this is Real Deal Meetup on Periscope TV. Real Deal Meetup, we're the third largest real estate meetup in the nation. So that means the United States, all 50 states. You can count the other two if you want to, but I don't know if they have meetup.com yet. But we are the third largest, 4,800 members plus. So go onto therealdealmeetup.com if you have not already to become a free, F-R-E-E, free member and get some of the Real Deal resources.
So many resources.
So many resources. It's ridiculous. Charles is crazy and he has way too many resources online, but we can't stop him from doing what he wants to do because his name is Charles Blair. So now you mentioned, make a lot of mistakes. That scares people because they want to do everything right.
Yes.
So how do you stay encouraged?
Why you have a mentor. My first step was find somebody who knows what they're doing.
Okay.
But no matter what, you still make mistakes.
Okay.
One of the mistakes I made recently, I think it was maybe 3 months ago, I put out my bandit signs and one of the digits was off. I put out 30 bandit signs.
Are you serious?
But I also made the mistake of not using permanent marker, the one that I should have used, and they all rinsed off in the rain, and I happened to pick them up and re-put them out.
Okay.
So, lesson learned,
Okay.
So I had an intern that kind of got the numbers screwed up, but I was able to pivot, and now I have a deal that I'm working on right now from bandit signs.
Right.
So make mistakes, things will happen. Get over it. It happens. If everything went perfectly, you think this world would be, the way it is?
No, not at all.
Things happen. I expect things to happen.
Exactly.
I expect things to go wrong. So.
And First Lady Davis said, like his wife said, yes, we all know where the knowledge typically comes from our men, but we are not going to go there today. I'm going to leave that one alone on the table. So now for number 4, in terms of your recommendation for somebody getting started with their actual wholesale business, what would you recommend for number 4?
Number 4 is get out there and network.
Okay.
Meet people all over the place. I meet people in supermarkets. I meet people in, Starbucks. I meet people walking down the street. Hey, I'm a real estate investor. And you wouldn't know. Relationships lead to different things. People have referred me deals. Just let everybody know what you do. A closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Right.
If nobody knows what you're doing, and if you're in the dark, how effective can you be?
So true.
Large companies, they don't, sit back and say, oh, we're Coke, and we're not going to tell anybody that we sell Coke products.
Right.
Why would they do that? It makes no
Right.
sense. Let people know it's marketing. You're in marketing first. You're in business. You're in any business. You're in marketing first to generate the opportunity to be able to take advantage of an opportunity. So you're generating those opportunities to be able to make something happen. And if you aren't generating those opportunities, word of mouth is just the freest form of marketing, period. Just let people know what you do. Vistaprint. Go get some business cards off of Vistaprint.
Yep.
And pass them out to every single person. I think I went through 1,000, cards when I first started again. I literally gave them out to everybody. I posted them on billboards, different places. I would go into fast food places and I would post them on there. I would put my marketing everywhere. And you wouldn't imagine, people would contact you, but they do.
They do.
So,
yeah.
That's the 4th thing is let people know what you're doing. Let mom know. She might know a friend of a friend who is looking to sell her house.
They always
Let your
do.
cousin know. Let your, grandma know. Let people know, hey, I'm a real estate investor. What do you do? Hey, I'm a real estate investor. I provide solutions to problems in real estate.
So true.
And take it from there.
And I like the keyword that you said, the for free, because it's free. So when you put that on Facebook that you're a real estate investor, But even the funny thing is that when you post your deals, sometimes people don't even understand what the heck you're talking about.
That's
but
true.
they just see that you're in action.
Share all my deals. Anybody who knows, share all my deals.
My cousin was sharing my deals. My dad was sharing my deals. My dad's in Florida. I'm like, bro, what you doing sharing my deals? But my dad was sharing them. Like, everyone was just sharing it, and it's just like that is a free source of lead generation and bringing buyers to you. So let everybody know what you are doing, like Kevin said. That's so critical. Now, Jeffrey Mark actually asked,
Jeff,
how to get comfortable with cold calling. Do you use a script?
Get on the phone.
Get on the phone.
I do. I have a really long background of being on the phone.
Okay.
Just kind of backtrack a little bit. I started, let's see, when I was with the initial investor, I made calls, to individuals. He literally threw me on the phone to say, look, we have a stack of leads about this thick.
Wow.
Call them. This is before, systems are really big. We had paper leads like this. And every day I'm calling people. So I'm getting more and more comfortable. Then I went on to my other business where I, did negotiating debt settlements.
Okay.
Calling people. Get on the phone. Certainly write a script down. Sit down and ask yourself questions. Someone who you think, if someone were calling you, write down the questions you would have for them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then answer them. So you have something to work off of.
That's a good one.
And then from there, you can build your script out. But I like to kind of wing it a little bit. I have questions that I'd certainly ask, but I wing it a little bit because I want to be personal.
Right.
I'm always, my initial business motto is relationship.
Right.
So I'm building a relationship, even with that seller. I have sellers that, I'm building that list out that I know they've just received a nice chunk of cash for a deal that we did. Guess what? They're probably going to be private lenders of mine at a certain point because I built a really good relationship and I'm going to continue to keep contact with them.
Right.
So getting on the phone is really more about understanding who you are and understanding who they are and meeting them where they understand you.
That's a good one because not everybody can necessarily connect with everyone, and that's nothing to be offended by. Some people will connect with you better than they will with me. They may like my voice, and then for you, they may say, no, I need to hear a man on the phone, and that is quite okay as long as we get the deal done. Like, that's the biggest thing. And Jeff said, thanks, Kev, for that. Yeah, that was a really good one. Okay, cool. Now, last but not least, number 5. So we have seek mentors, understand your resources, take action. Number 4 was network. What would you say number 5 is to that you would recommend for someone who's getting started with building their wholesale business?
Don't ever stop.
Don't ever stop.
Do not stop. It took me 10 years to get, some success, and I'm far from where I want to be. I mean, literally far from where I want to be. But my thing is, I never stopped learning. I never stopped pushing. I never stopped networking. I never stopped doing any of the things that would lead to my success.
Right.
I'm adamant about doing things that I don't like sometimes. If I'm, hey, you know what, Kevin, you need to do this, but I'm like, oh, I hate that. At some point, I'm going to outsource it, but I still need to do it for now.
Right.
And I will not stop ever in doing anything. I know some people, specifically, deals may be dead at some point to some people. Usually I can find a way, if it's a dead deal, it's dead. But a lot of times I'll structure things where people will be like, well, that shouldn't have worked.
Right.
But I've done it.
But it did. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Never, ever, 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 ever stop. If this is what you want to be in, if you want to do it, then don't stop. You rode a bike, you fell down a couple times. But you got back up and you started riding again. So why would you not do the same for your business?
So true.
Business.
Consistency. So seek mentors, understand your resources, take action. You should probably write that one in capital letters. Network, and don't ever stop. I love it. Awesome. So now for everyone on the line who wants to stay in contact with you, we had some Podio questions. We had a couple of questions in reference to your website. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of people who will probably seek you out now to market some of their deals.
Network.
So how do they stay in contact with you?
You can always, send a contact form on my website or my direct contact number. I know I'm probably going to get blown up, which is text is best for me.
Okay.
It's 443-826-9290.
Okay.
But, shoot me an email. That's probably the best way, kevindavisloans@gmail.com. And yes, I will be lending at some point in the future, so I'm always looking forward to the next step in my business.
Okay.
But currently I don't. I do broker some deals. I do a lot of networking. I do have individuals who do that stuff. But kevindavisloans@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Catch me on Periscope.
Yep.
I am on Periscope.
Okay.
Let's see, Instagram, Facebook. Send me a Facebook message. I've gotten tons of Facebook messages from people. I'm very active in a lot of the groups of real estate. So.
Okay. So on Facebook, you're Kevin Davis.
Kevin Davis.
And on Periscope, what's that?
K Diggs.
K Diggs. Okay.
Yes.
K Diggs and Instagram.
It's K Diggs 30, I think.
K Diggs 30. Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask you if there was another one there. Okay, to K Diggs 30 on Instagram is K Diggs 30 as well.
Yes.
All right, awesome. So that is how, and then also the website one more time
is kevinbuysbaltimorehouses.com.
kevinbuysbaltimorehouses.com, guys. So if you missed anything from this episode, my apologies. Make sure that you go back on, replay it from the beginning. Kevin gave us some great information as well as your 5 steps for somebody who's getting started with their wholesale business, not their risky business, fly by night. Somebody else came up with something creative, whatever you want to call it, but not the duct tape, the actual business model. So on behalf of Charles Blair, the mad scientist, and the Real Deal community, we want to thank you again so much for tuning in. If you have not signed up for More 2016,
I'll be there.
Kevin will be there. Yes, I love it. We already have confirmed some of our top-notch mentors who are going to be there. If you have not, go onto Facebook right now and type in More 2016. You'll see the information so that you can click on the link to actually sign up for the event. Also, if you received our emails today, the link to sign up is inside of the email. I mean, you can't ask for any more than that for the individuals who are coming. Like, of course, you have Charles, who's going to be there. Brittany is going to be there. Kevin Jackson is going to be there. And Michael Fitzgerald, who is actually one of our mastermind members, who he rehabs like, 30 properties a year? Something like, how do you even do that? He's going to be there. So you just have all these people who are actually doing the business. And it's funny because we're learning from them. Like, you're never too big to still learn. Otherwise, you're dying. So anyway, on behalf of the Real Deal Meetup again, thank you so much for joining, and make sure you go on to therealdealmeetup.com to RSVP for our next upcoming free FREE meeting. This is Queen, and I'll see you guys next week. See you guys.